dear followers of my channel, Ellie Celebs. Welcome to my channel. All the details are in my reports. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notification and like the video. Stay tuned. One of the most talked about names in the entertainment world lately is the undoubtedly Barıs Baktas. The successful actor's reaction to the car's imposed decision has caused quite a stir. Looking behind the scene, for me, this story is not just a legal matter. It also seems like a striking example of how far a person's physiological limits can be pushed. According to the allegation, the car's decision directly affects both Bakhtar's private life and career plans. The emphasis on the word imposed is noteworthy. I think the real issue here is not so much the content of the decision, but how the actor perceived it. Because according to the rumors, Baktas may have felt this process not just as a legal obligation, but as a personal intrusion. According to information leaked from his close circle, the actor was quite tense during this process and at times reached the point of losing control. The pairs he almost went crazy might seem exaggerated, but for me, this expression is quite striking in terms of conveying the intensity of the pressure he experienced. Especially when intense filming schedule, public pressure, and fluctuation in his private life came together, this kind of reaction is actually not surprising. In the world of celebrity gossip, such crises usually evolve in two different directions. Either they lead to the serious decline in career or they strengthen the individual. Time will tell which scenario will unfold for Barıs Baktas. However, my opinion is that this process is significant enough to respace his character and career path. Another noteworthy detail is the actor's preference for maintaining distance from the media during this period. This silence is seen by some as a retreat and by others as a control strategy. I think that at this point, silence may be a consciously chosen path for Barıs Baktas to recover, because any statement risks further escalating the current crisis. In conclusion, this event should not be seen as just a celebrity news story for me. This is a story of a person trapped between pressure, perception, and individual limitation. How Barıs Baktas will emerge from this process is already a matter of curiosity. Will he return stronger, or will this crisis leave a deep mark on his career? This is the real question that needs answering. As the repression of what happened continue, new detail circulating behind the scene, and depending the story in particular, some of Barıs Baktas' statement to his close circle suggest that the incident is not just about what's visible. According to the allegation, after the decision was announced, the actor didn't want to see anyone for a long time and particularly withdraw into himself. For me, this clearly shows the heavy psychological burden the US placed on him. Another striking claim is that Baktas has distributed his filming schedule. This is quite unusual for someone normally known for his discipline. I think this detail is an important indicator of the seriousness of the situation, because an actor reaching the point of risking his job reveals the extent of the internal turmoil he is experiencing. Of course, there is also the social media aspect. His fans are divided. Some support the actor while others find his reaction exaggerated. For me, what's most striking here is how quickly the public can pass judgment. Yes, it is often impossible to know exactly what happened behind the scene. Perhaps this is why Barıs Baktas has chosen to remain silent. On the other hand, some gossip columnists suggest that this crisis is actually of outburst of long-standing problem. If this is true, in my opinion, this event could be a turning point. That is, is not just a momentary outburst of anger but the result of a deeper, long-standing tension. I think the critical point is what happens next. If Barıs Baktas can manage this process correctly, this crisis could be a turning point for him. Sometimes such difficult process even add a different depth to an actress' performance, but if the opposite happens, its process gets out of control, it could leave scars on his career that are difficult to repair. For me, the most striking possibility is that the actor will make a controlled statement soon, because it doesn't seem very likely that such a major issue will be brushed aside with complete silence. The first statement will determine both public perception and the direction of the process. The development don't stop there. According to gossip circulating in the entertainment industry, Barıs Baktas may have been considered seeking professional help after this process. I think this is a very important detail because these kinds of crises often leave much deeper effect than they appear from the outside, and it's not always possible for a person to cope with them alone. For me, this claim shows that he is taking the situation seriously and seeking a solution. On the other hand, it is said that there is also activity on the procedure side. While it's being discussed that some projects may have their schedule revised, how this will affect the actor career plan is big question mark. I think this critical thing here is how the industry will approach Baktas, because in the world of entertainment, image can be as safe as talent. Another noteworthy point is that the actor close circle is divided. Some find the resurrection human, while question argue that he should have been more controlled. For me, this situation is quite familiar because Aeon, the close circle, can have different perspective in times of crisis. This makes the decision process even more difficult. On social media, the debates are growing. Each new claim, each new comment gives the event a different dimension. I think the most dangerous point here is that misinformation is overshadowing the truth. Because in such institution, the line between reality and interpretation can quickly become blurred. Barıs Baktas' silence may have a conscious decision to avoid further escalating this chaos. The second area I'm almost curious about is this. How still will crisis affect his acting? Because some artists can create much more impactful work by challenging the difficulties they experience into their performance. If Baktas can transform this process in this way, he may step into one of the strongest periods of his career. But of course, there is also a risky side to it. If the process drags on and progress uncontrollably, it could affect not only the present but also his long-term career. For me, the most critical aspect of these events lie precisely here. Is it a short-term crisis or a long-term setback? Thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye.